Hello, this is Ann Hill doing Writing Studies 4562 International Professional Communication, and I'm providing some detail today on the Documentation for Translation project. It should look like this in the Canvas learning system for you. Whereas it says it's due April 17th, that's the conclusion of the project. It actually begins on Monday, February 20th. You will see here that I have included a couple of additional videos. The first one here is from Professor Giuseppe Palumbo, where I strongly encourage you to view this to get a much better understanding in terms of translation and the work of his students at the University of Trieste in Trieste, Italy. For an overview of this project that is part of the Transatlantic and Pacific project, please view this second video, the TAP overview that I have prepared to give you a sense of the overall project. There are actually 5 sections of students that will be collaborating with students from the University of Trieste during this spring term between February and through part of April. In our case, in this course, the components of the assignment are these 5 parts. The personal learning network, which you have already created a version of as part of the discussion on understanding self and during week 4 of the course. But you can certainly revise this for sharing purposes with your partner. You will be paired with one student at the University of Trieste. You will share that visualization at the very beginning of the project. You'll draft a set of instructions. You will conduct a usability test with the student at Trieste, and then, based on that information, develop a final draft and the translation brief. The translation brief being, a key component for the translator and for that person's work. Throughout the whole time of the project, you should be keeping a journal of a sort so that you can take the different entries that you have and put them together into a reflection report due at the end. So here's a bit more on the timeline and the tasks. Again, you see the dates of the project. You see during this very first week, you'll be paired with a student. Depending, you may be paired with another person in this class to work collaboratively. I don't think so, though. I think the numbers are going to work out, so it will be 1 and 1. One person from 4562 and one person from the University of Trieste. To assist in getting to know your UT partner, again, you'll share a visualization. Now, this is a very new component for the University of Trieste. A student, that person probably hasn't developed a visualization of his or her PLN. So I will provide different resources for them to potentially use. And you can certainly suggest things perhaps as well. Throughout the project, make sure to choose forms of discussion and document sharing that provide a record, okay? So that, it should be some way that you can store your messages, your docs, your work with your partnering student. Again, your main task is to draft a set of instructions or standard operating procedures. It should be something that you can explain in 3 to 5 pages. You'll send a first draft to your UT student or partner on March 10th. You'll receive comment back, and then your next step is to design a usability test, and you can conduct this anytime between these dates. And you should complete it using one of these options. So I'll just certainly let you read those there. Now the UT students then send back their completed usability test. You develop and submit a final usability memo, revise your instructions based on what you've learned, and prepare them for the translation work. Toward the end of the project, you have quite a circle April 10th multiple times on your calendars because you have several things happening there. The translation brief, the final draft, both are due April 10th, as well as revise your personal learning network and share and discuss it again at the end of the project with your University of Trieste partner. And as I mentioned, the reflection report is the last component, but you should obviously be working on that all the way through the project. I give some more detail on the personal learning network visualization here, followed by more detail on the instructions, the usability process and memo, and again, the reflection report. Now, please note that you are free to contact your team member by any means appropriate. Also keep in mind that, of course, we have our spring break. The Trieste students have an Easter break. The objectives for our course are listed in the syllabus. I thought you might also be interested in the objectives for the translation students. The files that are included here, Professor Palumbo's directions to his students. When I get something specific that I can post to the site, I will put it here. I will also include the documentation for all of the student teams. And you can click on the translation brief while you will need to complete this, a couple months from now, April. You can certainly look at it and get a sense of what you will be completing there for the student, for your partner. As with all assignments in this course, I include a grading rubric, so please look at this in detail because there's quite a few moving parts. We've got the PLN, the first draft, the usability process, and memo, final draft, translation brief, and reflection report. So all of this work rides on top of our work each week in the different discussions as we continue to use the Varner and Beamer and other resources in this course. I look forward to your work, and please send any question all along the way here. We'll be talking and sharing quite a bit about this project throughout the various course forums. Thanks.